If you want to get long-term success in this game, you definitely have to invest some time in youth development. Of course, I mean, you can be the sort of player who just goes out there to sign players. You just bring them into your squad and, go and get success. Yeah. But what if you have these long-term ambitions of creating a legacy, an unfailing system? Well, we continue our series on developing youth players. Today, I'm going to share with you how I assess players in our youth squads, in our senior team, and how we can go out and then add strength to our youth team with a very, very simple filter. Finding good youth players in this game, it's super easy. My 10-year-old son can do it with a simple filter. I'm sure you can too. And it brings us to the point about doing those youth academy challenges. If you're going to do a youth academy challenge, there are two ways you can do this. You can import players into your squad, easy. Or you could develop them from your own academy. On our show, we're going to do a mix of both. I've already covered the setup on the first video. So if you need to go and find out more information, we've got 2 videos on that. We've got a complete playthrough on BTN Live, and I've got a shorter guide over on the main channel, Bustthenet. So here we are with Porto. We want to assess how our players have done in terms of their development. Now, there are going to be 2 groups of players, right? There are going to be players who are between the ages of 18 to 21 in your main team, and there are going to be players in your youth team. We're going to assess both groups. A good view is going to be helpful. Here we've got a whole bunch of players. Now I've got one player who's 20 years old, Gabriel Veron. Let's pick on this guy. Now, he's only made 4 appearances. That's not a lot of matches as a substitute, but we've only just started the season. So when I go into Gabriel Veron, and this is the challenge when you're playing one of these youth development saves, because you can end up like a Jose Mourinho kind of manager where you are only interested in results. So you don't have much time to bring on your youth players, which is the case with Gabriel Veron. That's how I've been feeling. So his development hasn't been good. This is not a good sign. It's a flat. I mean, there are 2 lines I avoid. One is a flat line. The other one is going down. Going down is even worse. This means hardly any change to his performances in training. And then we can compare him to another player. Kano, he's been playing regularly for us. And if I look at his progress, boom, yeah, he's been playing much better. How do we know he's playing much better? There's a very easy way to find out. If you go into your tactic, like here we've got our tactic. All you got to do is go to player, click on this, and then you see how different players have performed in this position. Here we've got Evan Nelson, who plays in this position. He hasn't done badly. I mean, when we played him as a pressing forward, he hasn't been very good, but he plays really well as an inside forward. And if you go down the list, we'll find Gabriel Veron. Now, Gabriel Veron, for some reason, he did play 1 game as a ball-playing defender. But as an inside forward, he hasn't performed very well, 5.80. So what we want to do, the next time we are using Gabriel Veron in a game, right, we want to pay attention to his average rating after the match, right? So what is he given us in terms of his numbers? If it's 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, we definitely want to talk to the player. We can either discipline the player or we can warn the player. If he's got a 6.2 or a 6.3, you can definitely discipline the player. It's fine. Okay. But if you warn the player, sometimes it doesn't really work out that well. I rather discipline the player. I just found out that that's an easier way to get things done in this game. This is the thing about youth development. If you want great results as a team, sometimes you have to sacrifice youth development to get those good results. So some of the times you're going to have to be thinking to yourself, I've got to start with these youth players because I got to give them a chance to develop. It's a decision you're going to have to make. We looked at one of the guys in the senior team. We recognized that we need to start paying attention to that one player. What about youth players? So when it comes to the youth teams, there are 2 things I like to do. First, screen flow. I like to add the competitions they're playing in. This is important. The moment I put these competitions in, I can't miss them. The news pops up, right? So in the youth team, we've got data like this. This is helpful. Our players are all developing really well. Now, if I want to know how they've been playing in the positions, it's a bit more challenging. Now, here we can, of course, pop in. If you've got always the same players playing and you're okay with this, then this is easy. Here, Joe Carvalho, we know as a striker, he has made 4 appearances. He's only had a 5.54 rating. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to go to the youth team, the tactic itself, right? So Carvalho, he has not been playing very well, right? So do I have any other strikers who can play in this position? No, not really. We've got Gonzalo Sousa, so he's going to play the next couple of matches. Now, this is the challenge. So when they come back in here, if you look at Gonzalo Sousa, it will tell you he's not bad, 7.70 rating. He's done quite well. The problem now is when you want to do for each of these players, you can't mouse over here and check like this, right? It's a bit annoying. Okay, so it's kind of strange. I don't particularly like this feature in Football Manager. I wish that we could see how individual players are doing in these positions, and I would like to give personalized instructions to different kinds of players so that we can see how they play, how they train in the long run. But this is enough, I guess. So here, Fabio Amaral has been playing most of these games. His performances have been fantastic, 8.90. So he's been playing quite well. So let's take a look at his development as a player. So as a player, his development has been good. So when they start turning out very good performances, they start performing really well. Now, he's already got leadership has gone up, decisions has gone up, and first touch has gone up. This is just a short span of time, right? So it's just a short window. Within a month, he's had growth in a few attributes already. And then we can compare this to other players. So this is something I like to do. Now here we've got a midfielder. His name is Martin Silva. He doesn't play badly as a Mazzala. He's at a 7.6 rating. Here we've got another midfielder, Thiago Compas. He's played 7.4 as a ball-winning midfielder in this position. So our defenders here, 7.2, 7.3. Here's our DM, 6.90 rating. Not that fantastic. The full wing-back here has had 3 assists. So it's something I will pay attention to, especially for youth players. Now, we know that there's another player here, Ramirez and Carrasco. There's no other player that plays in this position. You can always come in here, go to your overview for your tactic and say, okay, fine, maybe you want to try somebody else out. So we'll try Ramirez in this position, give him a few games. And then we got Bernardo Ferreira. We'll try him for the next game. And then we'll develop Nuno Freitas and give him a couple of matches and do the same thing. Go in here, take a look at how these players have been performing. So Nuno Freitas, 5 appearances, is done at 7.10. Here, this central defender, 6.90. We can also check his performances in training. So here we can see his progress has been decent. So he needs to play a bit more in terms of matches. His development hasn't been fantastic compared to some of the other players. Here we have another central defender. His progress as well has been okay. What we probably want to do with this player, progress, not so good. Training, has he been? Yeah, he's been doing strength, so he's going to work on his jumping reach. Of course, half the time I'm checking their height out to see if they are decent, right? 1.88. So this guy has got hope. Yeah, his jumping reach can go up still. So we're going to keep him on this training routine, and hopefully it improves over time. So this is how I do my assessments for my youth players to see whether they've been developing really well. In Football Manager, even a Mickey Mouse training schedule will see good development in players. Why? Ultimately, the players still need to be performing in the competitions they're taking part in because that rolls over into training ratings. So if I'm looking at my youth players to make an assessment on how they have done in training, most of them are doing well. Fixtures, we've won a couple of games. The players are doing well in training. You can see the numbers here, but this is not all, right? So I checked Fabio Amaral. We know that he's has performed well in the positions he's been playing in. Of course, this is not the one I'm looking at alone. I'm looking at other things like, the competitions themselves. His performances have been okay. We can see that he has had improvements in first touch, decisions, and leadership. This is okay. The other attributes are also developing. So yeah, overall, the boys are performing well. And Fabio Amaral is only a balanced personality. He's been playing well, 8.66, one of the top performers in the youth team. And he's as a result of his performances in games and training, those attributes are going up. Now, I want to add some more players to our team. So I'm going to go here, go to players in range. We're going to use the scouting filters. And this time, we're looking for players between the ages of 15 to 17. No minimum release clause, no work permit likely. What I'm looking for is really simple. This is the easiest way to find youth players who are very good. All you got to do, age between 15 to 17, appearances 3 or 2, have an average rating of 6.5, doesn't matter. But this is what you do, you pop in your leagues. The thing is this, these are all first team leagues. The very fact that you've got youngsters playing in first team leagues has got to point to the fact that these guys are pretty good. Now, all these players are probably between the ages of 15 to 17. So we're looking at this group of players. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send my scouts out to all 6 of them. There's a very strong possibility all 6 of them are good players. In fact, I could just try and sign a few of them blind. So we got one Endrick here. Ask agent about availability. I have no idea who this Endrick is. Okay. He's got 9 appearances already. He's on wages of 180,000. This guy... Yeah, I have no idea who this guy is. But then we got another defender here. How old is this kid? This kid is 16 years old, so we'll sign him. Okay, so we're gonna talk to his agent about availability. He will prefer to continue his development. Palmeiras, I believe Palmeiras wants somewhere between 12.5 and 15 million to make a deal possible. Wow, the guy is a potential superstar, man. Then we've got another player here. We'll talk to his agent as well. Miguel, transfer. No, there's no agent. But this kid has got an agent. He must be good. Transfer. There's no agent here. Transfer. Oh, we can approach and sign this player straight away. So you can just add players like he's an MC. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go approach to sign this player. Okay. Now, if you don't want to come to you, all you gotta do is go to the club, right? So these are potential wonder kids. Yeah, these are all wonder kids that we can look at signing. Here we've got another one. I send my scouts out to all 5 of them. We'll see what our scouts say. And this is one great way of finding wonder kids. Of course, you can click this and see whether anyone's interested in coming to you. The only one is this kid, right? So he wants to come. So this is one way of adding those wonder kids into your team. It's really simple. You can drop this to 1 if you want. As long as they make 1 appearance, they must be they must be half decent, right? Or you can even drop the average rating. Football Manager hasn't changed one regard for a long time. AI manages inclination to play youth players. It hasn't gone up in the last few years, has it? I mean, unless you've got a good world reputation and outstanding attributes, that's the only way they get to see first team action. Right. So if those kids are 15 to 17 and they are playing first team action, don't you think those guys are wonder kids waiting to be signed up by your club? So we just played this game against Guimarães, played this 4-1. We won this game 4-1. We gave Veron a chance to play. And Andre Franco, who's also another player that has got some potential to develop, he didn't perform too well, 6.3. So what I've done is I've issued him a warning. And his reaction hasn't been too bad. Something I'm going to be planning on doing in this youth development safe. This is what I like about Screen Flow, right? So the moment the matches are played, we get information on the players. Of course, you can come in here, player detail, and start looking for things as well. I mean, in terms of defending, I'm always interested to know how our players did in terms of interceptions. But here, they don't tell us interceptions per 90. They just tell us interceptions made. Hey, Carrasco has made about 41 interceptions. It's not enough information. I'd rather know how many he's done in games. So here then, there's a reason why we have this view for the under-19s. Once again, if you want to find out what the stats are, you have to go to your stats competitions and then pick the competition that we're taking part in. So this is the under-19s competition. This is the information that we're getting from that competition. Here we can see what the interceptions per 90 are for our boys. And if I wanted to filter to see how our defenders are doing, well, in terms of our defenders, we've got some of them 5.04, 6.41. These are very high numbers for interceptions. It's something I'm actually kind of happy with. You can see here Vasco Santos is a defender. He plays as a defender. His jumping reach is only 7. His height is 1.70. Now, players like this, right? Chances are I'm going to move them out of this slot and into this DM position. But before we do that, we are going to try and see whether we can find ourselves another defender to add to our squad. 17 years old. So our scouts are out scouting potential players that can join our youth team. It's a whole part of youth development. We want to make sure that our players are being developed along the right path lines. That player, I don't foresee him ever being a central defender. So we'll retrain him to be a DM. Sometimes when it comes to these youth development saves, attending a match can lead to a boost. I don't know what kind of a boost it's going to be, but, I can only hope for the best. The boys didn't play too badly with Amaral again. Man of the match with 2 goals. His development is flying, man. He's doing really well, 8.87 average. I'm also looking as well at improving my staff, right? Because in terms of my coaching team, their contracts all expire in June. You can just come in here, all the staff, contract. We'll come into all these stuff, contract and mutual terminate. See what it's going to cost us. So what I'm now going to do is go and look for staff who will be eager to join our under 18 setup. You want to make sure, right, these are all realistic appointments for the youth team because not everybody wants to be in a youth team. So these are all the model citizens that don't mind working with our youth team. So we are going to basically hire almost all of them. So we got manager here, model citizen, approach to sign. He's going to be the under 19s manager. Then we've got here, approach to sign. He's going to be the under 19s assistant manager. You notice I'm not even looking at the attributes. Then we've got one more here. I'm looking for them to be playing the same system. So here we've got one more coach, Brian McBride, approach to sign him, under 19s coach. So we've gone out there, we've gotten a whole bunch of coaches that are going to add something to our squad. Here we've got the new manager of the 19s. He's working with youngsters who's 20, something that I'm very happy with. And they've all either model citizens or perfectionists. Now, the interesting thing is here, the coaches with the main under 23s team, well, we've got no coaches, right? But if I go to my training and if I go to my coaches within this team, which is the main team, now, of course, the under 23s are like bonus coaches. Now, they will work with the senior team. So, because once all the players show up, right, doesn't matter which level they're at, under 19s, 23, it doesn't matter what the age is, they're all going to fall under these coaches. So, the under 19 coaches here, I only signed them because we want the right personalities coming through for the youth players, right? Okay. And you're looking at this average here, this is pretty solid. I just went for personalities. I never looked at attributes. But for the senior team coaches here, we are very interested in the attributes because we want these coaches to improve these attributes, right? Here we've got aggression, concentration, positioning. This is for the defending tactical coaches. Some of my players are not too thrilled with the attacking tactical and defending technical as well. So we're going to go out there. We're going to go and get some more coaches. And the issue here is that we full house. We can't get any more, right? But we can do it for the coaches in the under 23. So I plan to add coaches here. So once I add coaches here, we should be able to raise the standard even of the coaching even for the main team, because under 23s, even though we don't have any coaches, they're still going to be training. They train with the senior team and the senior team coaches. Look at their numbers here. Their training ratings are good. If we picked one random player, right? Okay. I will just pick the guy with the highest training rating here, Joel Texera. We can see his progress. That's solid. Attributes wise, since he started, that's not too bad. This concentration has gone up, right? 7 to 8. That's 1 point. Positioning has gone up, right? 7 to 8. Of course, these are low bars, right? I mean, they are fairly low bars, but the point here is players are still going to improve, right? So they have improved well. I'm happy. Pace has gone up. And one of the players actually has got an increase in crossing. I can't remember who, but yeah, I saw that he has got an increase in crossing. So I'm happy with also going out there to get all these coaches for our under 23 squad. So these coaches are going to come in. I've got players like Sammy Hippier, Brian Klug, Greg Fleming. They're all going to join the under 23 squad. We also are planning to bring in another 21-year-old as a defender and another young player. Hopefully, this 20-year-old can play for the senior team as well. Now, I haven't really bothered with the B team. The B team's fixtures, they've been okay. Our under 23's B team, I want to take a bit more of a hands-on approach with their development as well. So we don't ignore everybody. So we're coming in here, looking at our goalkeepers. What I can do is, this guy is going to be a fullback on attack here. We've got a DM on defense. This is fine. Free kick. Okay, one thing I never do, free kick taking. Because even if you don't do much, these attributes do go up. They're super cheap. Z Pedro, DC, these guys should just be a DM, right? He doesn't have these 1.87. Actually, what we can do, Z Pedro, actually, we can train him to be a defender as well. Ball playing defender, defend, and we'll get him to work on strength because that will work on his jumping reach as well. Then we've got Rodrigo Fernandez. His composure isn't good enough. So what we do with this guy, ball winning midfielders, fine. We'll give him final third, which is works on composure. So we'll do all these ball winning midfielders in the center. That's fine. I'll give them all composure, which is final third. Now we got another one here. All these are final thirds. This is a Mazzala. This is fine. We'll leave it as it is. Here we've got Abraham Marcus. He's left only, so inside, invert, side forward, attack from the right flank. Again, here we'll give him off the ball anticipation and decisions for both of them. And here he's right-footed as well. inside forward attack. Here, this guy is on the left, inside forward attack. This guy inside forward, right side attack. Here we've got the inverter winger left only. Again, inside forward. We'll give him inside forward attack, right? Because that's the system I'm playing. So inside forward attack left. Again, another one with attacking movement. Now we come to Wendell, training for a striker. If I give you advanced forward attack, right, he's just going to work on these physical attributes, decisions, anticipation of the ball. This is fine if you just want him to be a finisher. But if I want his mentals to improve, then I'd rather do this. Then he works on decisions, concentration, composure. These are attributes that are great for players that want to break the offside trap as well. So this could be handy. We'll do the same thing with this guy. And then here, they're all on pressing for the attack. We can give them all final third, right? Composure and decisions will be something that they work on. So then we sorted out the under 23s already. And that's fairly straightforward. Board respond to improve youth facilities. I mean, the board has been very nice to us. They've given us quite a lot of goodies. Here you can see training facilities are 16, junior coaching 18, 18, 15. And we've set ourselves up. We've done all the necessary work that we needed to do to set our team up. We've gone out there, we've hired the coaches, we sorted the training out, we've identified players that could be playing in the first team. Now, the tricky bit occurs where you have to balance things out. You have to start giving players enough time to play, but you don't want to overplay them too much. So between the ages, until they're 21, I'm still rotating them. Is when they're very young, if you play them too much, they get injured. So I want to avoid that. And we've not done too badly as a club as well. If I'm looking at our results, we've been able to beat Napoli away 1-0. We have a new system as well, a 5-2-1-2, which is something that I really want to play with this team. We've got the 4-3-3 the senior team uses. They've got the youth team is playing this tactic, but the senior team also occasionally plays this away from home. It's one of my favorite tactics at the moment. It allows me to do different things. I can drop this to a cautious, and then the way the match engine now works with passing, right? So on cautious, a lot of these roles are actually doing direct passing. So this is great for our counter-attacking style of play. So episode 2 of the training and development series continues. Now, the next time you catch up with this episode will probably be 4 or 5 months down the track, and we'll see how our players have come along. I hope you enjoyed these first 2 episodes. Please ask me any questions if you need to, and let me know what you think of the series. Meanwhile, you guys stay safe. Have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.